Hi, this is Ryan with video blog number 3. Today we're talking about the issue of data mining, and according to the article in Time, we're going to talk about some disadvantages and advantages. Obviously, the advantages would be things such as targeting of certain products that we're more familiar with buying, as well getting suggestions and recommendations, sort of like Amazon and how they utilize information. We make a purchase on a book or a movie, and we're immediately recommended other information to purchase, or iTunes has a similar device where we purchase certain types of music and they recommend other artists. Obviously, the disadvantage associated with the use of data mining is the fact that there are so many different sources and so much information that is not necessarily consistent. Obviously, the writer in the article had many issues with items being consistent. He's a Jewish male, he's 39. Some items had him purchasing a lot of women's lingerie as recommendations. Obviously, he was recommended for sports cars as rentals, when in actuality it was a Toyota Yaris. So obviously there's some inconsistencies with the data, and this could be associated with the fact that they don't search deep into the, I guess you could say, your profile as much when dealing with these searches, and they kind of just skim the surface. So perhaps the things we can look forward to as far as recommendations would be a little bit deeper searching, but obviously that deals with policy and privacy issues. So what could this mean for me individually? Obviously, I would prefer that I would get things recommended to me as far as data. However, there are the issues of privacy, and I don't necessarily prefer or want my habits being logged and tracked, because it kind of scares me as we go further into searching for jobs and careers, and I don't necessarily want other people knowing what my preferences are or how I do things, in the idea that it might discriminate. That brings me to businesses. Businesses might be able to have this information, especially if their employees are utilizing company computers. Obviously, there is a network. The uh, business would be able to track what each employees are looking at on a daily basis, what cookies they're using. This could in turn look at their lifestyle choices. Who knows, as far as insurance companies, whether they can track this information from businesses as well, and the likelihood of insurance premiums going up. That could also go back to the personal aspect. Um, but ultimately, the employees want to feel secure. They want their morale to be up. They don't want to feel like they're underneath any more scrutiny than they already are as far as performance and quota measures. As far as government goes, this could be a touchy subject. A lot of people feel that the government has too much of our information to begin with. The idea of data mining only encourages that thought pattern. As far as people that are inside government, I would be the ones that would be more scared, because this can track their behaviors, their habits, and if that information is easily accessible for the public, that can be something that people would maybe shy away from. Where do I see this going in the future? Obviously, it can be benefited for businesses and companies. I think it's beneficial if perhaps cable companies were to get into this in the future, and even be able to target certain TV shows and commercials specifically for different individuals. I actually have a friend of mine who I met through my old career of hairstyling, who has a company called V, who's actually researching this exact technology, which would in fact allow for certain commercials to be targeted to certain audience members through a box. Um, as far as the cable companies, everyone pays for certain cable packages. This could actually reduce their cost, because then consumers could pay for what they typically like to see, and thus reduce the channel requirements and potentially just pay a la carte. Um, there could be an issue in the future as far as more and more personal and private data becoming available. Um, in class, we were discussing some companies. One of those companies was hacked in 2003 with 1.6 billion email addresses taken. Obviously, it didn't get through the firewall, but those types of hacking activities lead one to believe that it's not too far off from people getting into these big time companies, or just being able to hack through the internet and finding certain preferences such as credit card purchases and targeting individuals who have the high-end profiles. So overall, I think in the future it could be something that is utilized for the good. However, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people to take this information and use it in a negative light, and I think people would feel more secure with information such as social security numbers, bank account information, not ever seeing the light of day and not being allowed to be infiltrated in the market. There's our look on the data mining issues. Overall, as I stated, I believe it's a good thing. However, with more power becomes more responsibility, and I look forward to my final fourth video blog in a few weeks. Thank you.